Hey guys, I have got the most exciting video to share with you today, and it is something that I swear to you, if you stick with it till the end, this can change your whole life and change how you experience pleasure and motivation, and how your brain experiences challenges and hard work and difficult times and pain even. Um, for the rest of your life and for any activity. And I made like 5 pages of notes to keep me on track, but it's just gonna make it hard for me to deliver this message. Now, I've wanted to make this video for so long, but I haven't been able to figure out how to deliver the message because it is scientifically based, and I find that when I dump videos on you guys that are heavy on science, that people don't watch them because they're boring, they're hard to follow, they're not a lot of fun, okay? But and this is going to be, I couldn't find a way to make this relatable to everyday situations so people could picture it in their own lives and how they could utilize this in their own minds. And I saw something this morning. I watched something happen with my daughter's daughter and my daughter, an interaction they had, and I was like, that's how I can explain this, okay? So let me explain first. So my daughter is brushing her little girl's hair. She's got her curly hair. She wakes up in the morning. It's all a big bird's nest, and she's brushing her hair. So she's brushing her hair, and it's tangly, and it's knotty, and the little girl's going, ouch, 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 ouch. And where most kids would be like, stop, stop, it hurts, it hurts. Well, my daughter is a psych major, and she has been very aware of this process, which I'm going to teach you about right now, for 5 years now, because she's been studying for years and years. So she's trained her daughter to think of things differently than most little girls. This little girl's 5 years old, but she has a different mindset about things than most little 5-year-olds, and it's because my daughter's trained her that way, and she's brilliant for it. Like, I watch her do it, and it just makes me laugh because I'm like, you're so brilliant. I love it. I'm so proud. But anyways, the little girl is going, ouch, 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 and instead of saying stop, stop, my daughter's saying, it's okay, I'll be more gentle. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to. I'll be more careful. We'll go slower. And then the little girl, her daughter, is like, no, mommy, it's okay. No, mommy, it's okay. Keep going, keep going. And Sydney's like, why? Why do you want me to keep going if it's hurting? And she said, and the baby said, well, the 5-year-old said, because it means it's working. My hair is going to be shiny today. It means it's working. And Sydney said, what means it's working? And the little one's like, well, when it hurts, when you're brushing my hair and it hurts, it means it's working. And she smiled and she was happy. And I'm like, oh my God, my daughter has taught her daughter growth mindset at 5 years old. This kid is releasing dopamine from pain while getting her hair brushed because she knows the outcome is going to be fantastic. But she's enjoying the difficult, challenging part because she knows the outcome. She's not suffering in pain and wanting it to stop and wishing it was over. She's actually appreciating that it hurts because she knows it means it's working, and she's going to have shinier hair, okay? So this is a real life little example of how growth mindset and how dopamine release, actually, it's all about dopamine, works to make challenges and painful things not hurt and make them make you be able to appreciate them and find joy in them and make them easier and more manageable, okay? So let me tell you a bit about dopamine. This is the science part. Don't tune out, guys. Don't click away. So dopamine, everyone knows it's a happy hormone. It's not. It's actually a neurotransmitter. But what it does is it brings pleasure. It increases the pleasure centers of your brain. It lights them up on an MRI. It does wonderful things. It increases motivation. It increases concentration. It increases our ability to learn. It decreases anxiety. It increases it balances our mood. It stabilizes our mood. So it works very well as a mood stabilizer. People who have dopamine imbalance disorders will experience horrible outcomes, such as diseases like Parkinson's syndrome and Parkinson's disease or schizophrenia. Those are related to a lack of dopamine or a dysregulation in dopamine. Now, those are dopamine dysregulation disorders. So you can understand that dopamine has a huge role in not just our happiness, our ability to function at our highest, potentially highest, most efficient level, but it also has a large role in our ability to move in our body movement, and it makes it fluid, and it makes it easier to move, and it's calming to our nervous system, and it produces an ease and a fluidity of movement. Okay, so dopamine does all these wonderful things physically, mentally, emotionally, and chemically, hormonally in our bodies to make us feel fantastic. Okay, and to make our jobs easier. And what we have done is very backward. So what we have done is trained ourselves to attach dopamine to a reward as opposed to hard work. Okay, so hard work is awful. We're doing any new routines we implement into our life, any new challenges, or any going to work every day doing the same monotonous task, or going to the dentist. We hate it. We hate it. But the outcome of it is what we're really looking forward to. Going for a run, we don't want to do it. But if we reward ourselves at the end with a scoop of ice cream, then we'll go for that run, for that scoop of ice cream, because we've trained our body to release dopamine based on a reward. And there was an experiment that was done at Stanford University years and years ago. They did it with little kids again, because little kids' brains are so malleable. You can experiment with them and they'll still be able to bounce back, which is terrible, but we do it. We love it, right? We love that little kids are so, and this comes back to neuroplasticity. And I bring this up again. Neuroplasticity it's so much more, it's so much more functional for little children. It's harder for our adult brains to be neuroplastic and to be able to move, but children's brains are very plastic. They're very malleable. They are very easily we can change them and manipulate them, and they'll bounce right back. Okay, so they're high plasticity, whereas adults, we still have the same capability, but it takes harder work, it takes more effort. So anyways, the experiment at Stanford, what they did is they took a bunch of kids who loved to color, loved to draw. They were really into art. And these kids really enjoyed it. So their brains would release dopamine when they colored, okay? That's an intrinsic factor. Their brains intrinsically enjoyed coloring, or released dopamine, because they intrinsically enjoyed coloring. They liked doing it. So dopamine would release, okay, because they enjoyed it. That's an intrinsic factor. So that dopamine release when they colored is an intrinsic reinforcement. So it would reinforce them to continue to enjoy coloring, because every time they colored, they released dopamine because they enjoyed the coloring, right? So that's intrinsic reinforcement. So what they started doing is messing with these kids. They started giving them a sticker every time they colored something great or did a great piece of art, okay? And that is an extrinsic factor, the giving that sticker. It's something that comes from external forces, something external from the outside. That extrinsic reward, being the sticker, started making the kids release dopamine when they received the reward. So they stopped releasing dopamine when they were coloring, which was what previously made them release dopamine, and their body started dopamine dumping when they got their sticker, okay? So all of a sudden, when they withdrew the reward and stopped giving kids a sticker, there was no more dopamine. Their bodies weren't releasing dopamine anymore when they did the coloring, which they used to because they enjoyed coloring. Now their brains were dependent on that reward for the release of dopamine. And when that reward was withdrawn and taken away, there was no more dopamine. So the kids stopped coloring. They didn't enjoy drawing anymore, and they didn't enjoy art. Now, gratefully, kids' brains are malleable and they're very neuroplastic, and we can play with them, and they can encourage them to keep coloring and tell them all the great things about their artwork and how much they love it, and talk them through it and reverse this, and children will start coloring and enjoying it again, and they'll release dopamine doing activities that they love, because kids' brains will bounce back, okay? And that's why it's great to experiment on kids. But these mental experiments are so effective with children because, first of all, they have no assumptions. Children don't have assumptions. They don't have any preconceived thoughts or ideas, and their brains are malleable, okay? So you can do certain things with them, and we know their brains will shift back, okay? So scientifically, children they're gold. But anyways, nonetheless, I should delete that from the video, but I probably won't. Anyways, so what this means for us is that we will do things and our brains won't release dopamine until we get the reward. So we will work all week and work hard and hate our job and hate living every day because we're waiting for that paycheck. And when we get our paycheck, dopamine releases, we get happy, we get excited, we get motivated, we learn, we're sharper, we feel better, we have a few really good days, and then it's back to the hard work again, back to the brutal activity. Or if we're starting a new routine of getting up at 5 in the morning and to go and do an exercise or workout, we'll hate it until we step on the scale and see that we've lost some weight. And all of a sudden that dopamine dumps, we feel amazing, and there we go. But what that does is it teaches our brain not to release dopamine while we're doing the work. It makes our brain hold on to dopamine and hold on to it until we see that reward. So things get harder and harder because our brains become more and more dependent on that reward for dopamine. It holds on to the dopamine tighter and tighter and tighter, that it makes the work harder and harder and more challenging because we're getting less and less and less dopamine all the time. Every time we get that reward, our brain releases less dopamine from doing the work. So really, our bodies are in deprivation of dopamine, and we need it. We need it for fluid movement, for body comfort, for ease of our own body mechanics and our feelings. We need it to mood stabilize, to feel comfortable in our own brains and in our own skin and not be agitated and be up and down and all over the place. We need dopamine. So we go into dopamine withdrawal. So we will actually feel like garbage while we're working or while we're doing the hard thing until we get the outcome, the reward. So what we need to do if we want to start a new routine and stick to a new routine and make it something that we'll continue doing, because the way that this works, inevitably, it lines us up to quit whatever we're doing that's hard and stop doing it, because we can't go function without dopamine. So we start cheating on our diet, or we start cheating on our exercise and not going to the gym and eating the ice cream without the run, because we need the dopamine so freaking bad, because we need it to function. So the real gold is in tricking our brain to release the dopamine during the work, during the challenging part, during the hard time. And that is called a growth mindset, okay? And I forget the name of the lady that does research into this, but she's absolutely brilliant. And she came up with a theory of growth mindset. And you hear about growth mindset all the time on TikTok and on YouTube. Everyone's like, have a growth mindset, this and that, but they don't really understand the science behind it. And the science behind it is training your brain to release dopamine during times of challenge and hard work. When we're outside of our safety zone, which I've talked about in previous videos, we are innately, biologically trained to keep ourselves in a safe, comfortable place. And as soon as we step out of what's comfortable, be it a new routine or a new challenge or anything that's difficult for us, anything that's hard, anything that's scary, then our bodies start getting uncomfortable, and we don't like that feeling of discomfort. But what we need to do is train our bodies to release dopamine during those times of discomfort, and all of a sudden we'll be able to stick to our routines, stick to the challenge, enjoy the challenge, feel reward from the challenge itself, and not be waiting for a reward. So the challenge, the hard work, the pain, the discomfort becomes the reward, okay? And I know it sounds insane, but we can actually do this. And this is how we do it. I'm going to tell you how now. So let's round all this crazy science up into something doable. How we do it is we cut off dopamine before and after. We're going to do the hard work, first of all. So there is no more small rewards, no more ice cream after your run. There is no more watching TV for half an hour before you go to work. No more rewarding yourself in any way. Try this. I know it sounds terrible. Don't give yourself small rewards for doing small challenging things. Don't do it, because your body will start to, what you need to do is, while you're doing, here's the other side, the flip side of the coin. What you need to start doing instead is, while you're doing the challenging and hard activities, you need to self-talk. You need to start telling yourself, I love this. Oh my gosh, this pain, this sweating, this pain in my legs from running, it feels so good because it means it's working. It means it's working. Like the little one did when her hair was getting brushed and it was tangling and hurting. And she said, Mama, the tangles mean it's working. I'm going to have shiny hair. We need to tell ourselves this while we're feeling the suffering, while we're feeling the challenge, while we are working hard. This is the reward, okay? We have to tell ourselves, oh my God, I love this feeling. This means it's working. This means like I'm on my way, or like I'm getting there. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. And that this is the sign and the symptom of me getting there. And this is a growth mindset. That is truly what growth mindset is. And that is what we have to consciously start telling ourselves. And by doing that, by telling ourselves this constantly while we're experiencing the challenge and the difficult time, and by not rewarding ourselves after or before the challenge and the difficult time, our bodies will start to release the dopamine when we tell it to, when we start saying, I love this. This is the reward. This feels so good because it means it's working. This is great. Oh my gosh, my calves are burning. Oh my God, I love that feeling. That means it's working. It means it's like I'm building muscle. The muscle's growing right now. And that's what the burning in my calves is. And we'll get a hit of dopamine. And it'll start small. You'll get small hits of dopamine along the way. I used to, in university, love writing exams. I used to love it, love it, love it. And everyone thought I was fucking crazy. And it is a little crazy. But I loved it so much because not only did I know I was going to do a killer on it because I worked so hard, but because I would get dopamine hits while I was writing the exam because we were bell curved. And the harder the questions were, if I came across really awful questions where like, and how in our program the questions were structured in exams where that every answer is correct, you have to pick the most correct answer. And that can be subjective, right? The most correct answer can be subjective, but it's not. If it's scientifically based, then your most correct answer is going to be based on science. And there are hierarchies to everything. There are frameworks and chains, and everything has a hierarchy. So there is a most correct answer. But when I'd come across these questions, and because we were bell curved, I would know I was going to do so well because I knew I studied so hard and I knew the answer. So I'd get a dopamine rush. I'd get a hit. So writing an exam was actually fun and exciting for me. I'd get excited about writing an exam because I was going to come out of it feeling like a freaking champion, because I'd feel better and better as the exam went on. I'd be smiling sometimes. I would have to like stop myself from like looking like a psychopath smiling writing an exam because I enjoyed writing exams, because I did this to myself. I had a growth mindset and I enjoyed the challenge. I enjoyed the feeling of being challenged by a really hard question because I knew that meant my mark was going to mean so much more, because not everyone was going to get that answer, but I knew I was. So like it was a dopamine dump for me. So you can do this every day with your workouts, with your routines. Cut off external rewards, cut off all those extrinsic factors. Stop weighing yourself. Stop weighing yourself if you're trying to lose weight. Don't do it, guys, because you don't want to have that dopamine dump when you see the pounds on the scale go down. You want to have the dopamine dump when you're doing the exercise. So instead of weighing yourself, start telling yourself when you're feeling your body in pain when you're exercising, oh my God, this pain is so good because it means it's working. I'm losing weight right now. I'm losing weight right now because I am exercising and I'm feeling this discomfort, or I'm building muscle right now. Or at work when you're so tired and you're trying to concentrate, be like, oh my God, I'm so tired because I've been working so hard and I am making money right now. And my bosses see how hard I'm working. I look so good to my bosses. I look so good to everyone. They see how hard I'm working. Your body will start releasing dopamine. This is the biggest fucking brain trick you can fuck yourself with. And it's amazing. And it works. And you can teach yourself to enjoy and thrive on challenge and discomfort and on difficulties and adversity. And in doing that, in teaching yourself to thrive and perform at your peak level, your optimized level during adversity, means you can be successful in every single thing you do that's hard. It means you can turn every challenge into where you perform your best, how you do your best. When you do it, you can make yourself perform at your very peak potential when things are the most difficult and when they're the hardest. So you can accomplish any new challenge, and you can achieve any new routine. You can successfully implement any new routine into your life. You can succeed in any challenge. You can accomplish any of your goals, because now you thrive and you flourish and you just do your very best in the hard times when you're doing the work, when you're doing the hard part of it, and the reward just comes on its own. And you no longer need that reward to feel amazing. You're going to be at your peak potential and be functioning and performing at your peak potential when it counts, when it's the hardest, when you're doing the work portion of a new task or a new challenge or a new challenge, just something new that's hard, a new routine. Anything new, you'll be functioning at your peak potential. Anyways, that's the video, guys. I hope I was somehow able to make this clear and make this understandable. I really hope I was. Look into this, read into it, read into the study. It was done with kindergarten children at Stanford University, and it was a number of years ago, but it's still very relevant. And look more into this, because you could change your life. You know how I talk about how much I love Mondays? This is why I love Mondays, because I am excited about the work week ahead, because I am excited. I've trained myself with this growth mindset to love that I have a whole week of hard work ahead of me, because I know I'm going to look so good and work so hard, and I'm going to do such damn good work, and I'm going to be amazing at my job. And I know I'm going to be amazing. I'm going to do everything successfully. I'm going to do it to 110%. And I love that challenge every Monday. And I make videos on Mondays all the time. Like, it's Monday, I love it. Monday's my favorite fucking day. Like, I make stupid videos about it. But that's a growth mindset, because I've trained myself using this technique. So I'm just so excited to be able to share this with you guys. And I hope I've made it something that you can take in and not too boring, and something that you were able to follow, that I wasn't all over the place and too scattered. If I was, and you're interested in this, please leave me a message. Tell me your delivery was shit, but the message is interesting. Remake the video, and I will remake the video, and I will do better. Maybe I'll use my notes. But I tried with my notes, and it just didn't come out naturally. I just had to explain it from like my brain, and had to share it with you using examples. So anyways, that's the video, guys. I hope you found it valuable. Please look into this, please study it, and please try it. Cut out all the rewards. Start self-talking during hard times when things are tough. Telling yourself, start tomorrow on Tuesday morning. Be like, I'm so excited to be, or Monday morning, sorry, I'm so excited to be back at work. I can't wait. This work week's going to be so hard, but it's going to be so worth it. Like, all this hard work is going to pay off. Like, I love it so much. See how you feel. You'll start dumping dopamine during the day at work, and it'll happen fast. It starts happening fast. Neuroplasticity works quickly in small doses, but it works quickly. So you'll start reaping the benefits and the rewards of this very, very quickly, like almost instantaneously. Within day one, you'll start to notice little perks and bumps in your day where you'll get energy rushes. And you might not even associate it with the dumping of dopamine, but that's exactly what it is. It's this working. It's a growth mindset starting to take effect. So try it. I challenge you, and put in the comments if you try it, and let me know how it works for you. See you guys soon.